right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to do some watercolor painting. There is, the picture that I have chosen to paint tonight. This is Catalina Island off the coast, off the mainland coast of California. I guess Catalina Island is still part of California. And this particular place is the backside of two harbors. This is the Pacific Ocean out here. This is, well, it's the Pacific Ocean, but it's towards the mainland on this side over here. Two harbors because there's a big island here and a big island here, and it comes in really close. And you can actually walk between these two in a matter of, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. And they're close enough. There are two harbors there, so they call that area two harbors. That's what I've got for you today. Let's see, what else can I talk about? The paper that I'm using is Arches watercolor paper. Hoop, here it is. Ta-da! 140 pound Arches standard watercolor paper. Nothing special there. Alan, hello, Alan. I've got my M-gram watercolor paints over here, and looks like we've got a problem with my watercolor paints. Give me 1 second here. Uh-oh. How do I change my paints? I can't do it. Tonight I'm going to be reaching in from the top over there, I guess. That's kind of funny. And the brushes that I've been using, smattering of these Dana brushes, the round ones that you see here. These are silver black velvet brushes, and Da Vinci squirrel brush here. And with that, I'm going to take my reference photo and set it off to the side. And here's my drawing of it. I hope you all can see that. I'm just going to jump right in with this and start throwing some color on here. And like I said, hopefully this whole thing is going to work out. I think it will. Come on, my brush is really dry. Okay, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of this cerulean blue. I like cerulean blue for skies out here in California, at least where I'm at. We don't get too many cloudy days, and when you look up into the sky, you see a lot of this nice, beautiful blue sky, and it's just about this color. Maybe it's a little different, but it's close enough for anything, for what we're doing. It's plenty close enough. I'm just going to put a nice light layer of that on. I'm going to maybe just go over, just a little bit, go over these mountains. And that's the color I'm going to hit next. And they're not really far enough away to be blue, right? So I don't need to put any blue in there, but I'll get a little bit of this ochre and a little bit of this brown that was on my palette already. And I'm just going to paint. One of the things I'm really trying to do is watch my paint, my water value, the amount of water on my brush. I'm really trying to pay attention to the amount of water I have on my brush. I know that I've got this big old brush that I'm working with, but if I put on, the same amount of moisture onto this page, or maybe just a little bit less, then my colors don't run right back up like they would if I put this on and it was just a little bit more wet. So I'm just trying to be very careful about how I put this on. And I'm going to put this on, this color on quite a bit of the background here. Quite a bit of this. I'm trying to avoid most of the water there. I'm going to try to get it on fairly quickly so we have a little bit of time to play with it. And I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm talking at 1,000 miles an hour tonight. I really do. I feel like I'm really talking quickly. If I'm talking too quickly, somebody, Alan, somebody, whoever is here, tell me to just relax for a little bit. Did I take this picture? I didn't take this picture. Although I could have. I've been to this spot where this picture was taken. So I very well could have taken this picture, but I didn't take this picture, unfortunately. I've got a lot of pictures from the other side of the island. A lot of pictures from the other side. Why do I have a line going across here like that? That's not exactly how I wanted that. Okay, that's fine. That's my... Just looked a little funny to me. Like I said, well, maybe I didn't say. I've been to Catalina here 3, 4, 5, 6 times, somewhere in that range. Fantastic little place. I totally understand why movie stars used to like to go there, and I kind of understand why they don't like to go there anymore. It's way too touristy, but it's such a nice little diversion from Los Angeles and the hubbub of LA that I totally get why, if you were a star in the 40s and 50s and 60s, I guess even into the 70s really, that you would have wanted to come to Catalina to spend the weekend or spend some amount of time anyways. All right, there we go. I'm just dropping in some basic color, and while I'm here, if this is still a little bit wet, I'm going to just drop in. It's not. It's not. That's okay. A little bit up here. Just going to drop in a little extra color to give these hills just a little bit of, personality maybe, right? Something we can start to define a few of the shapes out here without having to do too much, right? And we could have, maybe we should have, even put in some additional colors into this, just to make it a little bit more interesting. I didn't. Maybe that's my fault, but I didn't. We'll deal with it later. But just dropping a few darks in here, and they'll hopefully come into play later. I don't know if I've welcomed everybody. Really, I only got 6 people. Nobody wants to view a painting of Catalina. Oh, what a wonderful place. Yesterday on Twitch, I did a painting of some of the buffalo on Catalina Island, which I think are just as fascinating as anything. First, the fact that there are buffalo on Catalina Island. The second, that they're still on Catalina Island after all those years, and they just wander around. Nobody minds them. They do what they want to do. They really just kind of do what they want to do, wander around. People get out of their way. When they come into town, they kind of get shooed away, go somewhere else. But mostly they stay in the hills and don't bother too many people. Really an interesting dynamic with the buffalo out there. Like I said, I totally feel like I'm talking really fastly. How was your 4th of July? I know out there there's a huge fireworks show. My 4th of July was actually fairly nice. My family and I got a few fireworks, and we lit them off in our driveway in front of our house. And we made the offer to anybody in our neighborhood if they wanted to come and watch some fireworks. They were welcome to set up a chair or two along the street or in their driveway or wherever. and they could watch. And I know he's not watching. Well, I don't know, but I really doubt he's watching. One of the people that we invited, Millie, hello, Millie. One of the people that we invited was a tourist from the Lancaster Palmdale area, which is also in California, just north of LA. And he was in a condo just down the street, and he was so grateful that we invited him because his family normally comes here and stays in one of the campgrounds during the 4th, and they light off their own fireworks on the dunes or on the beach, and the campgrounds were closed this year. So he said, would you mind if I threw my fireworks in with your fireworks and we had a bigger display? And I went, of course, absolutely not. I'm not going to say no to more fireworks. And my family was totally all for having a few more fireworks in it. So we had our own little section of our street here. Quite a nice little 4th of July fireworks go off, whatever you want to call it. And so we had a good old time. Invited my mother-in-law over, and she sat in a lawn chair. We had a little fire. We roasted some marshmallows, made some s'mores if you wanted to. So we had a nice little time. It was fantastic. Alan, I hope you had a great time. Millie, I hope you had a great time. Cynthia, hello. Cynthia, you almost died on Catalina Island. Holy cow. And Andrea, you're saying, I picked a busy harbor. It's funny. Years ago, Two Harbors wasn't that busy. There were a few people living there, and it was basically a little research outpost. And now there's all sorts of houses out there, and people living there full time, and of course vacationers that are out there. So it has really become kind of a busy kind of a place. Now, I know I painted some water over here. I'm going to try to pull just a little bit back because I've got a palm tree right there that I'm going to paint. So, Cynthia, if you can make it short, yeah, let's hear your story. I mean, I don't want to hear any death stories. I hope it, well, I'm sure it has a happy ending because you're still around. And I hear there's a car in my driveway for some reason. Let's see. I was going to say something else, and I don't remember what I was going to say. Okay, but I'm going to stop here and reassess where I'm at. Yeah, I picked the... let's see. I was trying to read what it said over here. I'm gonna stop here for just a second. And I want to do a little comparison, right? I changed this up a little bit. I moved this palm tree. This is the trunk of it. I moved this in a little bit, so I'm just going to nip over the end of the island here. And I moved this in just a little bit, not much, so I could frame this little harbor here. And if you noticed, I just painted right over top of everything, right? And I did have some boats out here, so I'm going to put them in with a little bit of the white paint that I've got right here, right? So I've got a little bit of white. I'm going to put those in. And I'm looking at my reference photo, which is there for you. And I want to darken in some of this area, right? Got a few darks here, a few darks here. The dark that's there, I think is going to work for us, right? I'll put a few darks in through here, and then I'm going to leave this mostly empty. And you see I just barely sketched in a palm tree here, almost nothing, a couple of lines and some hash marks. Right, and then that's going to come all the way down. I'm going to do some greenery-ish in the front here. And then I've got these nice, one of the things I like about this, I've got these beautiful long shadows that come across right down this hillside, right back here and right over here. So I'm hoping we can get some beautiful shadowing on this. But before we do too much with it, we got to make sure that everything is dry enough to go ahead, and I think we're probably there. So for me, as I'm doing this, right, this is all layer 1. Golden, you're late again. What did you miss? You didn't miss anything. I just put on one layer of paint here. I'm about to go back and start on my second layer of paint, and you heard just a brief story, a little bit about Catalina. I'll get into some of my other stories of Catalina if you guys want. You boated in via, Cynthia, you boated in via sailboat, and your sister and I went in a dinghy, and it was not well, and we don't know how to ride. Oh, it sounds like a sunken boat story. That's not good. Sunken boats are no fun. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of my burnt umber here, right? Just a little bit, not too much. And I'm going to grab a little bit of my olive green, right? Because there's a little bit of greenery on that island, and we're not really far enough. Our visual reference on this isn't really far enough so that there's enough atmosphere between us where we're looking and the backside of this island. So I'm not going to worry about any blue in here. Ooh, maybe I'll get a little bit more green than that. Right, and there is just a little bit of stuff growing on here, so I'm going to put in just some green here and there. Right, a little bit here and a little bit there. Just enough to give some direction. Now, a lot of times I get a little what I call staccato with my colors, right? And I get a little jabby, bop, 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 bop. But I know I do that. I know I do that, and I try hard not to do that. So today I'm going to use just a little bit bigger, broader, sweeping colors through here. And I don't want a hard edge on this, so I'm going to try real hard just to blend some of these edges out a little bit. Maybe not all of them. They don't all need to be super blended, but I think if we do a little bit, especially as it goes into that brown, I think we can get some really nice effects on this. I hope anyways. Oh, and if I need to even make that a little bit darker in there, I could even just touch a little bit of extra color here and there. Would really help to darken some of this up. Right, and basically what I'm doing is I'm defining the hillside, the cracks and crevices in this hillside, however I put these colors on here. And then where I blend it out, well, that's where the hill kind of rolls a little bit. And I see I've got some more comments. I'm going to get to them in just a quick second here. But I think we need a little bit of color on here in a couple of these places to really fill out this back here. We don't need it everywhere maybe, but a couple of colors here and there just to really breathe some life into the background back here. Something like this. I'm going to blend a little bit of this down. Every time I say I'm going to blend this a little bit, I always think of Bob Ross He's going to blend a little bit here. He's going to blend a little bit there. There is a little road. Actually, I'm going to get a little bit of this gray, black in here, and that's going to be my road color. So a little bit of this road that comes through there, and right back around here it comes. I'm gonna get to the comments in just a second. Just give me a second here as I get that road on there. Okay, and then I think I can leave it right there for right now. Michael, I don't think you're paying attention. There are many people on life right now. Okay, I had a great 4th. Alan says, I had a great 4th of July. You had a barbecue, that's cool, and some fireworks from our family. Excellent. You're very behind in your chat, Michael. Thank you, Cynthia. I'm getting there. I'm only behind by 2 people. And Golden says, yeah, the 4th of July we had was quite nice. That's good, always good. Although there was a rogue set of fireworks that flew towards the group. Holy cow, on or off the roadway. Holy, that's dangerous. Boy, I don't know if where you guys live or anybody lives, but the fireworks around here were absolutely crazy. There were so many fireworks. And just people were lighting them off everywhere. I was shocked, absolutely shocked how many people were lighting off fireworks. Okay, so we've got this back part. Actually, I'm going to put just a little bit more. I'm going to put a little bit down below this road here. As I'm looking at this, I want a little bit of color down just below the road here. Right down to the water. Give me almost pure olive green right down here at the water line. And I'm going to do something similar at the water line here. And I kind of want to do this because this is a tidal area. And there's going to be a lot of stuff growing right down here. And this is close enough. This is definitely close enough that we could see a definite tide line down there. Definitely see a tide line down there. And I hope I'm building this up nicely. I want to do Catalina a little justice. I like to do, justice for all the parts of California that I'm living in and I've visited and whatnot. So I hope I'm doing a little bit of justice for this. Okay, and so this side over here is a little damp. I don't want to do too much with it. I'm actually not going to do a whole lot more with the water. I'll probably put a few little lines in the water. But for the moment, I'm going to go past the water. I'm going to go down 1 brush size. And I'm going to work on this palm tree over here. Right, and I'm not going to do it probably the way you think to start. Right, if we look at palm trees, if you look at, if you look at this palm tree in the reference photo, you can see there's a lot of brown, there's a lot of gray in that. A lot of the palm trees, as they age, right, they get this, as the fronds die off, they get that gray brown color on them. I know we've got a lot of brown color on here. We're gonna get some green to help pop some of this out. But we need to get some of this, so these brown fronds on here, right? And let me get a little bit more color. So I want to get some of these brown fronds as a base before I do too much green. And I'm not going to put, all brown on here. But I think we need enough on here so that if we look at it, if we don't paint everything on it, then we can still see some of these fronds that are brown, especially down towards the bottom here. There will be a few up here that are a little gray, or that are a little browner, and I can fill in a little bit of the color. Right, and the base of the trunk of this palm tree can be this color also, and then we'll just add color right onto the top of it. Right, and I think this is a good start on this tree. Maybe not everybody agrees, and that's okay, but as I see palm trees, there's always a lot of this brown in them. Whoop. I know I flip my page around quite a bit, maybe too much sometimes. There we go, and there's the stalk, the trunk of that palm tree right there. And now, right, that's not on very heavily, it's not very dark. So I think we can go right into some of this green. And I'm actually gonna get a regular round brush right now. And I'm going to mix up some of this nice green. And so the deserty green I like is this cobalt green mixed with a little bit of this olive green. If you can kind of keep them not completely mixed together, you'd get a really lovely color. Right, and as I move out to the outside, I'm going to lighten this up. And on the left-hand side over here, I'm going to be a little lighter with these colors maybe. All right, I'm just pulling out from the center. It's actually been a long time since I've painted a palm tree, believe it or not. We have a few here where I live, but I don't know. Painting palm trees just was never something I really wanted to do. Right? It's something I'm picking up and I'm figuring it out. But it's always been something that's been like, to me, right, I grew up in the Midwest. To me, a tree is like an oak tree or a pine tree, right? And we have plenty of those trees out here. So I've kind of limited myself to some paintings, tree paintings like that. And I haven't really gotten into too many palm trees, but I think we can do it. Well, somebody said something. Let's see. Altoid, he's trying to paint like Bob Ross style. Vid Cynthia. You're very behind in your chat, Michael, which I totally understand, but I'm gonna move on now. Okay, I don't understand what's going on there. I guess Cynthia is gone. That's too bad, but we'll continue to paint on. And a few lighter ones on this side. And I need to put some darker ones on this side also. to balance it out. Well, I hope Cynthia didn't leave upset. I'm not sure what she was going on about. But I don't like when people leave upset. Okay. Like I said, we're gonna forge on. Anyways, and I actually like this palm tree here. It's got a lot of personality to me. It's really exploding out of here. Really exploding out. In fact, if I put a few bigger fronds on here and just paint half of it, you could even see what it is. And now I know it looks a little stark out there. It looks a little stark out there right now. Callister Smith is here. Hello, hello. Whoops, I'm over here. I swapped where everything was on my screen. I put the live feed over there and my camera over here, and I'm always trying to get this out of my way. There it is. I'm trying to get that out of my way, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You know what I think I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take this green color that I've got here, and I've got a whole little stand of palm trees down here. I'm just going to paint these in, and these are simple ones because there's no real detail to them. It's a couple of marks, couple of lines here and there. Right? They're back there. I want that to show that that's way back there. It's way, like it's back there. I don't know how I could express that. Don't worry about it, Cindy. It's relaxing to watch you paint. Good, thank you. Heck, it's relaxing to paint. It is relaxing to paint. It is. Which is why I don't know. I totally feel like I'm going at 8,000 miles an hour here. Am I talking too fast for everybody? You know, the funny thing is that I had a bad day at work, and 10 minutes before I was going to start this, I was like, I don't even know if I want to start and paint. And I sat down, and literally I sat down and I grabbed my ukulele and started to strum my ukulele and started to feel better. And by the time I picked up my paintbrush and hit send on my video, then I'm feeling totally better now. I would paint some right now, but it's already 11:30. Oh, your East Coast time. Oh, it gets late. It does. It gets late. It gets late fast. I came in here. I should say this. This is funny. Before I came in here, I was walking around. You know, my studio is in the back of my garage, which is at the back edge of my property. And before I came out here, I was walking around, and I was like, man, it's really dark. Really dark here. Why is it that dark? I don't understand. And then it hit me. Well, one, it's starting to get darker earlier because we're past the solstice, right? We're past the solstice, so it's starting to get dark a little earlier. But it's so foggy here. It's so foggy that our sunlight is gone by 7:30, 8 o'clock, and it's just all fog. There's no light that gets down. All right, I'm just dropping in some color back here. In fact, I'm going to get a little bit of this brighter color and put some out here. Right, and I'm going to go right over part of where these palm tree trunks are. And I want to draw some of this back and just blend it back, some of it, leave some of that white space there. There we go. And now we've got some texture down there. And as soon as that dries, then we can paint in the trunks on those palm trees. And this one, I know, this one looks like it needs something. It's going to get some grass around it, and it's going to get a big shadow in front of it. So we're going to be good with that. This shadow from this one is going to go all the way over. So we're going to be good with that. I've got another tree over here, or shrub over here I can paint. And I'm going to grab some of this cobalt green, right? And this is going to be kind of the edge of this for me. And then into that, I'm going to put some of this cad yellow. I want to start to vary these colors. I don't want it to be all this cobalt green over there. And as we work our way across on the darker side of this plant, we've got some of this olive green over there. Maybe there's a few bits of this that are in light, but I'm going to mix some of these colors. I noticed, I went back and reviewed my painting of Spooner's Cove that I did 2 weeks ago. And while I like it, I looked at some of the trees that I did there, and I thought that I got a little monochromatic, right? I didn't add enough color into the trees, and so they were a little stark for me, and so I want to make sure I add some extra color into these so they don't get that way. And I see you guys have some comments here. I'm going to get to them in just a second. All right, here's some sticks and twigs coming in and out of that one. There we go. Okay, let's see. You're talking just fine. Enjoyed it as always. Thank you. That's funny because as soon as you said ukulele, my neighbor started playing his ukulele. Oh, that's funny. Here in Brazil, it's 12:36 at night. Ross Bell, holy cow, you're up late. That's 12:36. I don't even know if I could stay up till 12:36. This whole stay-at-home thing, I know it's played havoc with people's internal clocks. The rest of my family stays up until 2, 3 in the morning, and they're just up. Can't get to sleep, can't go to sleep. I'm not sure how I do this. This is not going to be my good hand. They can't get to sleep, can't go to sleep, but they sleep in. You know, that's not a fault or anything. It's just they sleep in because they can't get to sleep at night. And me, I'm the opposite. All of a sudden, I had one night where literally I was up for about 30 hours. I got up one day and I went to go to bed. I went, okay, it's time. It's 11:30. It's time to go to bed. I went to go to bed and I could not get to sleep. I just could not. It was not working out. So I got up and I watched a movie, and I was up longer, and I was up longer, and I watched another movie. Before I knew it, it was 5:30 in the morning, and I went, well, I got to do something. So I went, well, I'm gonna lay down because I have to lay down. I'm exhausted. I got to get some sleep. So I got up and opened the chicken coop so the chickens could come out in the morning when they got up, and laid down. It felt like I slept for about a year and a half. and looked at the clock, and it was it was just after 6 when I got up, and I went, well, I guess that's what I'm doing. And that was it. From then on, for me, it was I'm asleep by 10:30. Man, I'm telling you, by 10:30, I'm tired out. I'm exhausted, and I'm up by 5 anymore. I don't know why it turned out that way. That's just kind of the way it's been going. But holy cow! It's 8:40 and still some sunlight in the Bay Area. Wow. And Alice from Gig Harbor, Washington. Welcome, Alice. Wow, I imagine it's still light up there, up north. You still have some nice long summer days up there. Let's see. I'm going to put in a few more dark fronds in here. I know, I'm turning it. I'm turning it. It's easier for me to make these big lines if I turn it and I pull the brush towards me. It really bothers some people that I do it. I don't do it because it bothers some people. I should say that, but I know that it does bother some people when I do that. And I'm going to dip into my sepia over here and just drop in some darks on this side. I don't really need anything over here. This is going to be off the page. We can see. Right, that's going to be off the page if I frame that up, so I don't have to worry too much about that, but I do want to do a little bit with it. And I'm going to put some kind of a trunk on here. Comes down like that. Something, I don't know, something like this. We'll bring this down even further. Right, and so not much of this is going to make it into the final painting inside the frame. But some of it will. I'll put some of that, some lines on it like that. And we've got instant palm tree. I didn't plan on this being quite so big. Now I do feel like Bob Ross. I didn't plan on this being quite so big, taking up quite so much space, but the fact that it does, I'm okay with it. It really does anchor this side of the painting. I'm down to 9 viewers. I don't know what's happening. I'm doing more commentary tonight than I really am talking about how I'm painting and why I'm painting. I hope that doesn't bother anybody. I guess there are going to be some nights like that. I do like when we talk about how to paint and why to paint and whatnot. But I get carried away some nights. I forget all about it. So if you all were tuning in to get some special insight in painting from me this evening, I totally apologize. It wasn't my intention just to ramble on. Sometimes it turns into that. I do have a question for everybody. I'm just curious. I haven't looked up any numbers. How are cases in everybody's area, COVID cases in everybody's area? In my area, things are heating up. We're kind of a touristy destination town here, and people have started coming, and that means we're starting to get some cases. And we've really been isolated from it since the beginning. So the fact that we're starting to get some cases now is a little worrisome for quite a lot of people all of a sudden. But I'm curious. Okay. Andrea, good. A question. Okay, good. Alice says it's just going to watch your process. Okay, that's perfect. I'm happy to walk through and talk while I'm doing it. Question. I used Misket for boats. Why didn't I? You're talking about masking fluid. You used some masking fluid to put on for some boats, and why am I not doing that? And the answer is I didn't feel like it. I'm gonna put all of that on with some white gouache, and that's the reason. There's no, whoops, I'm behind the camera. There's no good reason. I could have put some masking fluid on, and done, more of the, I don't know if that's a traditional thing to do. But I didn't think that these little tiny boats out there, they're pretty small. I didn't think that they really warranted doing that, right? They're so small back there that putting them on just with some white gouache or white watercolor over the top, I thought would be enough. That's the only reason. So far, we're still pretty okay, about 20 or so far, but I do live more in the back roads of Kentucky than most. Yeah, I live on the central coast of California. Who asked that? Where do I live? Alice, I live on the central coast of California, and pretty far from anywhere. As far from anywhere important as probably you could get. And that's okay. That's why I live here. But we are a coastal community, and we do have a lot of tourist industry here, and so we do see in the summer normally a huge influx in people. And we were down for a while that I know of. And now it seems like our numbers of tourists, anyways, our numbers are climbing back up again. Because as I go for walks around the town, I can't walk without bumping into about 10,000 tourists. Our hotels are full, but our numbers are increasing, and today we had our third highest number of cases reported, which was 37, something like that. 37 cases, which was, 36 more than I think is acceptable. I don't care. Let's see. Andrea, you say you love Moonstone Beach. Oh, I've been up to Moonstone Beach a couple of times. I have a funny story about Moonstone Beach, I'll tell you. It's a really funny story about Moonstone Beach. So before I even knew where Morro Bay was, where I live, I shouldn't have said that, my town, my parents said that they were going to take me and my brother, who had flown out to California, up to Monterey Bay Aquarium. This was years and years ago. And we were going to go Christmas Day or the day after Christmas, something like that. It was close to Christmas. We were going to go, and I got violently sick the day before we were going to go. I mean, horrible, sick, terrible. I didn't even want to go. And my my mother, being my mother, how she is, she was like, that's not acceptable. You're going one way or another. And I went, I can't even walk. I can't stand up. It's something's not right. I'm not able to go. She went, we'll be over to pick you up in 10 minutes or whatever it was. I don't know. And they came over, picked me up, threw me in the back of an SUV. I laid down. They drove from LA up to Moonstone Beach where they had a rental. And I remember this much of it. Nothing. I was out in the back of this SUV, just laying there going, I just want to die. I don't want to be here. And I woke up the next morning and walked outside, feeling a little better, walked outside, and this beautiful beach, the beautiful ocean right there, Moonstone Beach. It was absolutely stunning. Okay, I've got those palm trees in there now. I've got only a few things left to do. One of them is there is a little bit of a dock here, just lightly with some of this Payne's Gray. I'm going to kind of draw that out there. Right, a couple of pillars. I don't want any more than that. I probably could have left it off. I don't know that it adds a whole lot to this painting, but it's two harbors, and a harbor kind of has to have a boat ramp, a dock, right? Doesn't it? At least that was my thinking when I put this on. And I'm going to put in a few little lines here, right? A few little wavelets coming in here, something like this. Not too many. And then I'm going to try to get into this white. Clean water into that white. Probably got enough in there right now. But yes, Moonstone Beach is a beautiful place. I actually have a few reference photos that I took up in Moonstone Beach. And I've thought many times about painting Moonstone Beach. But as yet have not. And here's why. I didn't do much with any masking fluid to try and get these boats on here because the boats are very small. Right? The scale is, if this is a set of palm trees down there, the scale is such that these are pretty small boats out there. Just going to do that, and then I should have done it first. And then we're going to let this dry real quickly. I hope it's not going to take long. I'm going to get into my black. I'm going to give them black masts here. I got a hair sticking out of there. I don't want to do that. Okay. I'm going to turn it over so I can draw a couple of masts here. Mast. I'll make that one go over the the water line there. A couple of masts, right? You'll recognize these as boats, and then probably I can use that same brush. I do need to have just a bit of shadow by each. Right? A tiny amount. Doesn't need to be much. But there probably ought to be a little something out there to help designate these as tiny little boats. There it is. Well, you know, we don't have a reflection on them, so we need a little something there to help them look like they are boats. And that is about it for me. That's what I'm going to do for you. Oh, I got something over there. Sounds like my mother. I curled my ankle, and there was this archery tournament that I had to shoot in. Oh, well, the next day I was standing on said ankle practicing. Never got it looked at. Holy cow, maybe I'm having trouble. But she said I was going to finish it. Yeah, they came and picked me up, threw me in there, took me away, and that was it. Oh yeah, what a thing. Anyways, that's what I've got for you guys. This, you know what? I can't do it. I can't. Okay, I got one more thing I'm going to do. I'm not done yet. I'm almost done. But while I'm doing this, I'm just going to say, down below, links to Instagram and Twitter, if you have those. I'm going to darken this side of the bush over here. It looks to me as though it needs something to separate it from the shadow, and so I can do that by darkening this bit, and this should be the darkest part of the bush anyways. Over there we'll give some additional darkness on that side, and I'm going to try to blend this just ever so slightly. I need a towel. And now you can see, now I like it better because I've got a difference built in to it between the tree here, the little shrub, and the shadow that's underneath it. And if I'm going to do it on that one, I'm going to do it on this little one here too. I might need a little bit more moisture on here. And it may not look like that much, but that might be just enough when you look at it to know what's what on here. Right? Whoa, I'm okay with a lot of this running together and being a similar color. Right? In nature here, it is a similar color. But we do need to denote what is shadow and what is not shadow. And so we'll do a little bit on that one too. All right, there we go. That is going to be it for me. I'm going to sign this one down in the corner. I'll sign it down here, I guess. I don't know. There we go. And I pulled it out once already. I don't do this so much on camera. But when I paint on my own, I always do this because I want to see kind of how it's going to look. And you can kind of move this around to get that little idyllic kind of a place. I think it's a nice little painting. It's adorable. I really like it. I hope you guys like it too. Thank you for joining me. Those of you who are left, very much appreciate it. And I will be on Twitch. Link down below, I believe. I'll be on Twitch this weekend and Monday and Tuesday next week. And I'll be back here on YouTube with another video next Wednesday at 8. Another one from California somewhere, maybe another Catalina, maybe something else. Thank you all for joining me this evening. We'll see you later on. Bye-bye.